depths below. The small coastal town of Merritt's Cove was a place of beauty, with its sandy beaches and azure waters, but it was also home to an unspeakable fear that lingered beneath the waves. Fishermen spoke in hushed tones about the Black Water, a stretch of ocean where boats would vanish without a trace and no one dared to fish. Laura, a marine biologist, had come to Merritt's Cove to study the effects of climate change on locals. She was fascinated by the ocean, enthralled by its mysteries. When she first arrived, the locals warned her about the Black Water, but her scientific curiosity overshadowed their superstitions. Determined to uncover the truth, Laura rented a small boat and set out into the vast ocean one foggy morning. As she ventured farther from shore, the water darkened, taking on an inky hue that seemed to swallow the sunlight. The air grew still, and an unnatural silence enveloped her. Just a natural phenomenon, she told herself, trying to shake the unease creeping into her thoughts. She began her research, taking samples of water and examining the strange aquatic life that thrived in the depths. The farther she went, the more peculiar things became. The fish seemed different, larger, with grotesque forms that twisted and contorted in unnatural ways. Something was wrong in these waters, but Laura's desire for discovery pushed her forward. Hours passed, and just as she was about to turn back, she noticed a strange current pulling her deeper into the Black Water. It was as if the ocean was alive, urging her to venture further. Suddenly, the sky darkened as storm clouds rolled in, blotting out the sun. The wind howled and waves crashed violently against the sides of her small boat. Panic surged within her, but before she could react, a monstrous wave struck, tossing her boat like a toy. Laura was thrown into the churning waters, the cold salt stinging her eyes. Gasping for breath, she struggled to stay afloat. The ocean roared around her and she felt the pull of something beneath, an unrelenting force dragging her down. She kicked, desperately fighting against the tide, but the water swallowed her whole. As darkness closed in, Laura felt a profound sense of despair wash over her. In her last moments, she caught a glimpse of something below her, larger than any creature she had ever seen. It glided through the water with an eerie grace, its eyes glowing like lanterns in the abyss. It watched her, unblinking, as if waiting for her to succumb to the depths. With a final surge of strength, Laura clawed her way back to the surface, gasping for air. She managed to grab hold of her capsized boat and pull herself up, trembling and soaked to the bone. The storm raged on, but she fought against the waves, navigating back toward the shore, the silhouette still haunting her vision. As she reached the shallows, she collapsed on the beach, coughing up salt water. But as she lay there, gasping for breath, the realization dawned on her. The townsfolk had known something she didn't. They had spoken of the creature, the guardian of the Black Water. It was said to be an ancient being, a monstrous entity that thrived on fear and despair, claiming the souls of those who dared to intrude. Days passed, and Laura struggled to shake off the encounter. She was haunted by nightmares of the ocean, its depths calling to her, whispering her name. She became obsessed with her research, desperate to understand what she had seen. But the more she learned, the more she realized the truth was more terrifying than she could have imagined. One evening, while poring over old town records, she discovered an ancient legend about the creature of the Black Water. It was said to emerge when the ocean was disturbed, seeking vengeance against those who dared to trespass. It fed on the souls of the lost, growing stronger with each life it claimed. The next day, Laura ventured back to the beach, determined to confront the truth. As she stood at the water's edge, she could feel the pull of the ocean, a siren's call that beckoned her closer. The wind howled and the waves crashed violently, but she couldn't resist. Something deep within her yearned to know. Stepping into the water, she felt the cold grip her ankles. She walked deeper, the waves crashing against her as she whispered into the depths, "I'm not afraid." But the truth was, she was terrified. Suddenly the water surged, and the creature emerged from the depths. It was a nightmarish amalgamation of twisted limbs and glistening scales, its eyes piercing into her soul. It towered above her, towering like a dark cloud, and she could hear its voice in her mind, a low, guttural growl that resonated with her very being. "Why do you disturb my domain?" it rumbled, the ocean swirling violently around them. "I need to know," Laura shouted against the roar of the storm. "What are you?" "I am the Abyss. I am the keeper of secrets, the guardian of lost souls. You cannot comprehend the depths of my wrath." Terror surged through her, but she couldn't back down now. "I won't let fear control me. I will find a way to stop you." With a deafening roar, the creature lunged forward, its maw opening wide to consume her. In that moment, Laura realized the futility of her defiance. She was just another lost soul, another victim of the Black Water. The ocean swallowed her whole, dragging her into its depths. As darkness enveloped her, she felt the despair of countless others who had been claimed before her. Their cries echoed in her mind, mingling with the creature's laughter. When the storm finally subsided, the beach lay quiet once more. The townsfolk, fearful and superstitious, watched from a distance, knowing that another life had been claimed by the Black Water. The ocean shimmered under the sun, beautiful and calm, concealing the horrors that lurk just below the surface. And as the tides turned, the whispers of the depths carried Laura's name, joining the chorus of the lost, forever trapped in the ocean's dark embrace.